Hi, I'm so excited to welcome you to the Blacker the Brain cohort. I wanted to drop a welcome video here so that we could just explain to you a bit about why we're here, what this is all about, the who, the how, and some of those details. If you're in this space, it's because you decided to join the Blacker the Brain cohort. And I'm Thea Monnier, so I'm the creator of this cohort and this platform, but there's a wonderful, beautiful team of people behind me that you'll meet along the way. So let's start with the what. What is the Blacker the Brain? It's a campaign, conversation, and cohort. So those three parts represent three different points of access to what we're talking about, which is decolonized therapy. Decolonized therapy is therapy that focuses on healing practices, includes healing practices, and includes modern needs for marginalized and colonized and previously enslaved people and descendants of enslaved people within the context of the mental health field and the mental health conversation. I've been a therapist for going on over a decade. And though I went through the schooling and I've gone through the trainings, I continuously found that there weren't the right tools to teach, particularly Black bodied individuals, but also many other marginalized groups, how to not just thrive, but like self actualize within an oppressive system. Many of you probably identify with the fact that over time, mental health has actually felt like it's just a band-aid, or it's felt like it's here to get people to cope well enough to be back in the labor force, go back to school. But a lot of us signed up for like transformation and change and healing and generational healing and elevation, and watching that experience happen with ourselves and our clients. And that's just not what it's set up to do at this particular point in time. Are there things about modern psychotherapy that keep people alive? Yes, but we're not talking about baseline just keeping people alive. We're talking about, do we find the tools, the strategies, the conversations, the expertise within the field of therapy, one, that centers Black experiences and Black bodies and the voices of individuals who do identify as Black in the creation of new content, of new theory, of new treatment, of new practice? And are we, as practitioners, prioritizing being well versed in and advocating for the dismantling of white supremacy and how that impacts our clients? So I always say, at best, modern psychotherapy is equipped to teach Black bodies how to cope within an oppressive society. And we just don't believe that's good enough, it particularly right now, but it really actually never has been. This also applies to other bodies who've been marginalized through the field of psychotherapy. We'll get into all of this, the history, and so it's a long conversation, but the bottom line is we are here to dismantle white supremacy within the mental health field, and to find people like you who are interested in decolonizing your practice so that you can actually do deeper healing work with Black bodied individuals, making it safer and more expansive for them to seek out mental health services. Let's talk about the cohort specifically, because that's why you're here. The campaign will just be people who want to donate to the cause, kind of like, hey, Black mental health matters, and it's a base of $9 a month, but they can also offer more. That's also great. That'll help us with keeping operations running, with bringing on staff, with paying facilitators and things of that nature that we really would like to do. Then there is the conversations. Those are the lecture series that we'll be doing every 4 to 6 weeks. As we open those up to the public, we want to engage them on different levels. If you're a client seeking mental health services, how do you empower yourself? How do you know if you're receiving decolonized services? Things of that nature. But also primarily for practitioners, for teachers, for anybody offering services to Black body individuals. These lectures are really important. So as a cohort member, your membership offers you access to the lectures automatically, but also we'll be doing once a month check-ins, me and the cohort. And I may bring in different people at different times to offer insight from their experience in the field, to offer additional information. So that's also a piece of it. In addition to any resources, we'll have an ongoing resource list, book suggestions, articles. It'll be a place that we can all exchange and share. And so we're building that out. Patreon is the platform for right now, may not always be. The other part about the cohort, though, is the bigger vision is to create like this green book. You know, if you know about the historical green book, this green book that maps out safe spaces for Black-bodied individuals to go to. So I get so many requests to do individual sessions, and at this point I can't because the work I'm doing is so macro. But I always feel a kind of way that I don't feel comfortable just referring somebody to a regular therapist. And I feel like it doesn't matter their skin color because we all have to go through the same grad program. We all have very minimal diversity requirements. I think it's if you're a psychologist or an MFT, there's no requirements. If you're a LCSW, then there's a 1 hour requirement, I believe, post-graduation. Go on and on for teachers and other practitioners, for doctors. There's very little accountability when it comes to this issue, which is why we're seeing so many issues today. And so the goal with the cohort is to develop an ongoing directory that people can come to our site, verify that this practitioner is engaged actively in decolonizing their practice with the support of the Blacker the Brain, right? And so cohort members, after they've participated maybe 6 months. I'm still thinking on that because, decolonizing time. But I do think after a certain point, cohort members are going to be given a logo that they can put on their websites and other materials so that people know this is a person who is actively engaged in the Black of the Brain community, meaning you're actively engaged in these conversations and these debriefs and these lecture series and these resources. The logo will not say that you're going to get this perfectly because unlearning systemic racism, unlearning colonization is a process, but it is saying that you're committed to the work. And I think that at least signals to people this is somebody that's trying and this is somebody I may feel a little safer working with and giving feedback to if they are not decolonizing the practice or not centering me in a way that feels good as a client. And so I'm really excited about all the things that we're talking about offering. I hope you are too. I plan for it to be a very rich experience, and our first lecture will be coming up very soon. The details about that will be dropping on Monday. I'll make sure we drop them here in the Patreon. The other thing that you can do in the meantime is please help us grow this cohort. You have friends who are therapists, who are social workers, who are psychologists. You have friends who are teachers. You have friends who work with the court systems, work with the school systems, work with the foster care systems. Like, we need as many people in the helping professions as possible who are nurses to be a part of this. And so we'd really, really love if you can join us in spreading the word to as many people as possible to join the lectures or join the campaign or even better, join the cohort. This is deep, deep hard work. And I'm thrilled to be leading it, but we will be co-creating it, and we'll talk more about that when we meet in person. And so I look forward to building with you. Thank you so much for showing up.